3 ways to spot a program. First of all, what do I mean by program? Programs are essentially thought forms that are implanted into the collective with the intention to create stagnancy through division. They tend to come in the form of beliefs and ideas, and we are all at some level susceptible to them. So here are 3 ways to spot a program. Number 1, if a belief or an idea lacks nuance. This is when a belief or idea is oversimplified and not supported by any historical or spiritual context. Number 2, a belief or idea lacks originality. When a program is introduced to the collective, what will tend to happen is that people will just start latching on to the idea. They will latch on to a certain idea without actually taking the time to sit with it, without taking the time to dissect it, compare it to, past conflicting ideas, and really creating your own individual take on a specific idea. No, what tends to happen is people latch onto an idea or a program, they feel some sort of resonance with it, and then they just start regurgitating it. This is why people all start to sound the same depending on their own sort of group identity. For example, people who identify as Democrats will have their own set of programs that they are allowed to believe and say. People who identify as Republicans will have their set of programs that they're allowed to believe and say. People who are, trad wife, polarity coaches have their programs that they're allowed to believe and say. Feminists have their own, you get it. Number 3, a belief or idea has an underlying tone of us versus them. This is a natural result of the first 2. Basically, if an idea lacks originality and lacks nuance, it is always going to be polarizing. Because what tends to happen is that people with opposing programs are always going to push back on you, creating friction and division, which is, of course, the nature of divide and conquer. So how do we fight against this? Well, we become aware of our own internalized programs and why we feel like we have to have allegiance to them, and what part of us loves being right and telling other people they're wrong.